Alrighty YouTube, it's your boy Zxous and we're back with another Goddess of Victory Nikke video. In today's video, we're actually going to be doing a community reaction. We haven't done a community reaction in so long. Obviously with the first anniversary, we have hype. Don't mind the towel on my head. Make sure you guys subscribe if you guys are enjoying the content. We are 7 subscribers away from 8.4, which is crazy because I didn't even believe we were going to be able to end the month off at 8.3. But the fact that we could end off the month at 8.4 is quite ridiculous. Obviously, the massive goal is 10K by the end of the year, and at the rate we're going, it's definitely going to happen. So continue to subscribe. If you enjoy the content, of course, don't feel forced to subscribe. Only subscribe if you enjoy the content. But yeah, we're going to be doing a community reactions. Also, we will be live. Massive summons. We're going deep. We're going deep. All packs being bought day 1. We're summoning, trying to get Red Hood, of course. We already have, technically, because I have golden tickets. But Scarlet is also a character that we need to pull on this stream, because if we don't, it will be 1 year in Nikke without Scarlet. So yeah, make sure you guys go ahead and tune into that. You can notify yourself on my channel, all that stuff. Now that we got all the promos out the way, let's get into the video. So last night before I went to bed, I asked, been a minute since we did a community reactions, who do you think, keyword think, will be or still be the best unit in the game, and why? And the reason why I said keyword think is because if I didn't put that, I think a lot of people would drag it, right? Obviously Red Hood is not out. We don't even know her kit. We're just going off of the gameplay and the brief description they gave us of this character, right? So if I didn't say think and then the keyword think, a lot of people would be like, how could you even say Red Hood is the best unit if she's not in the game? You know, you know how it is, bro. It's really difficult with some of you guys, to be honest, but it's fine. As you guys see here, we have 4,200 votes. 72% thinks Red Hood will be the new best unit in the game, which is very understandable. 15% thinks Scarlet will still be the best unit in the game, and 14% thinks Modernia will still be the best unit in the game. That's a big margin. That's a big jump. 72% to 15 and 14. Even still with Red Hood being in the game, you can kind of see that Modernia and Scarlet are still like, want to say 50-50, if that makes sense. Like it's 15-14% here, right? But of course, hey, maybe some of the people who now believe Red Hood, right, would have believed Scarlet or Modernia was better. I don't know. But it makes sense, honestly, that Red Hood is the best unit in the game. I do personally think Red Hood is going to be the best unit in the game, even before we know her skills. Because even though we don't have the skills, percentages, and stuff like that, in the gameplay, at just max limit broken level 200, we don't even know if she had gear on. She was hitting very, very hard. She was very efficient, and obviously the biggest thing about this character is her being a burst 1, 2, and 3 character. That's the biggest thing about Red Hood that kind of puts her on top of everything, right? Her being a burst 1, 2, 3, in my opinion, honestly already puts her in top 5. Top 10, top 5 guaranteed. Just her being a burst 1, 2, and 3, because that means you have flexibility and options. The thing is, when you have Scarlet or Modernia, it's like, yep, they're a burst 3, that takes up a slot. Red Hood literally is meant to replace any characters that can die or even perform herself as whatever you want her to be. If you want Red Hood to be nothing but a burst 2, you have her as a burst 2. If you want her to be nothing but a burst 1, you have her as a burst 1. If you want her to be nothing but a burst 3, you have her as a burst 3, right? So I think the flexibility there with Red Hood, not to mention how strong she actually is in terms of her damage, is what's going to make her #1 overall. Right, that's what I think, at least, right? And I assume a lot of you guys think that as well. Again, damage is not everything in this game, in my opinion, right? I understand why a lot of people say, you know, whoever hits the hardest is the best character in the game. It's very understandable, but overall, it's like, for example, Scarlet hits the hardest in the game, there's no question about that, but she loses HP. It's easy for her to die and stuff like that, right? If Scarlet ends up dying, guess what? We now have another burst 3 option in Red Hood. And if somebody else dies, hey, we have Red Hood again, right? Like, I don't know. But it seems like actually Red Hood, in terms of her using multiple bursts, we'll see when we actually get the skills, but it seems like her using multiple bursts, like a burst 1, 2, and 3 all in one rotation, is something she can only do once per battle. Even if that is the case, it doesn't really hurt the character because you still have the option to go back to a burst 1 or a burst 2 if your other burst 1 or burst 2 character dies, right? But mainly you do want to use her as a burst 3. She is an attacker burst 3 character, clearly. She's meant to do insane DPS, so yeah, that's it. But let's take a look at what some of you guys said now that I gave my little opinion on it. So let's see. Scarlet can be put on any team and still dominate. She is also good in every game mode, right? And the same thing will be said about Red Hood, right? And I say will be said because we haven't tested it, but Red Hood will be great everywhere, right? If you guys seen in the gameplay, Red Hood had insane burst generation. Now, to be fair, the team was her, Jackal, Senti, Snow White, and then Haran. But it's like, even still, Jackal and Senti are staples in Arena as well. So in Arena, you're going to have that. She's going to go crazy. She's going to be so good. It's actually crazy, right? Right, if you guys think that Red Hood is not going to be as dominant or even more dominant than Scarlet in every single content, you're kind of crazy. But yeah, I don't really know. Like, I mean, that's a valid point, of course. Yeah, Scarlet is still, she can be put on any team. She is still dominant, but the same thing is going to be said for Red Hood, guaranteed. There's no question about that, right? It's going to be better, right? The fact that Red Hood, currently the only character, can use a burst 1, 2, and 3 is very OP. And due to that, you kind of don't have to think too much about teams / which characters you want to pick for full burst, right? That's the thing, though. You have the options, right? It's not like, I think a lot of people are going to find out that you can only use her burst 1, 2, and 3, like all of them at once, like one time per battle, and they'll be like, oh, Red Hood sucks, right? But the thing is, she's meant to be a burst 3 attacker. We already knew this. Essentially her having burst 1 and 2 is extra, right? Basically, right? It's just an option. You don't have to use it. You don't have to if you don't want to. You can if you want to, but she's mainly a burst 3. And her being a 40-second cooldown, right? You know, I've seen a lot of people saying, oh, she sucks because she's a burst 1, 2, and 3 with a 40-second cooldown. Okay. Yes, but she's meant to be a burst 3. Her whole thing is DPS. Clearly, the only time she becomes a supporter or a tank is if you use her burst 1 or 2. But everything else in her kit is catering to damage. That's what I mean. Hence why you have the option to make her a supporter. You have the option to make her a defender. But her being an attacker, burst 1, 2, and 3, there's no question she was meant to be a burst 3 attacker. And also her kit just, I guess, caters to her doing damage. Right, so the burst 1 and 2 are very good things, even if you can't use them multiple times, as well as use the burst 3 at the same time. That's fine. It doesn't really change much, right? But it is a W there, in my opinion. Red Hood's versatility alone sets her above all meta attackers. First unit to cover all burst and a guaranteed future-proof character. True, literally. Burst 1, 2, and 3 automatically makes her the most flexible unit in the game. Exactly. So I'm glad we all see this, right? I think we can all agree that her being a burst 1, 2, and 3 guaranteed puts her in the top 5. Guaranteed. Heck, even top 3. Because you have the options. We don't even know what her burst 2 does, by the way. We don't even know the percentages of her burst 1. For all we know, she could be someone who gives an attack buff to all allies based on her HP. We don't know, right? And we don't know their whole kit because, again, we found out in the gameplay that she has the Pierce effect, but in the brief description, they didn't say anything about Pierce effect. So for all we know, when you use her burst 2, she can taunt and have damage reduction. We don't know. We just need to wait for a kit. But even from just what we've seen, we already know she's going to be a top 5 character guaranteed. But guaranteed, basically top 1, right? Realistically, it's not. She's going to be number 1, best character in the game. So yeah. Red Hood will be the best and the most meta-defined character in the game. She has the ability to hit like Alice and self-heal, which often will make the difference between beating a level or failing it. Second, she can be very versatile with her ability to use all stages of burst. Again, that I think we have to wait for the kit translation or the kit to release, but I believe you can only use like her burst 1, 2, and 3 one time per game, right? Just to clarify. She can fill in for another character if they die or make you save the other burst for a certain situation. Lastly, she has the ability to make the rest of the team attacks higher with the team that exactly. Right, with the team that has attack DPS support, it's bound to rival or even outperform Scarlet or Modernia. Exactly, right? For example, let's say I'm running Red Hood and Scarlet, right? Hey, let's say, I just took this in, right? Let's say my team is Litter, Senti, Scarlet, Modernia, and Red Hood, right? Let's say I don't even want to use my Litter's burst skill. I could use my Red Hood's burst 1 and give her the attack buff that will, you know, cater to Scarlet or Modernia or everybody else on the team. I can use my Red Hood's burst 1 and then boom, that will cater to attack buff for her. But then if I want to use Red Hood as a DPS, I can use her as the DPS and go back to Litter to give me the attack support. So it's really just a crazy mechanic. I dead ass did not think they would ever make a character of burst 1, 2, and 3. That never ever like crossed my mind until like somebody actually came up with that kit in a video I made a while back. But very, very cool, Nikke. It really is a cool mechanic in my opinion. Red Hood, even if her damage outputs end up being lower than Scarlet or Modernia, the fact that she can be thrown on into any virtually any team makes her the best unit in the game. She's going to be the most important unit in endgame content like solo raid. She is. Red Hood is basically deciding what team you're going to be running, right? If I place Red Hood in there, I have to now figure out what characters can I, how can I use Red Hood in this situation? Am I only going to use her as a burst 1 supporter, a burst 2 tanker, defender, I want to say, or a burst 3 DPS? I can figure all that stuff out and then make a team cater to that, right? And you have so many options. You have so many different options and stuff like that, right? If she does end up tanking, like taunting and having some type of damage reduction, and healing on top of that would make her crazy. I'm not even lying. I need to know that burst 2, because hey, if that burst 2 is as crazy as I think I want it to be, it's going to be crazy, right? Seeing how Modernia carried me and is easily my best DPS next to 2B, it's hard to say if Red Hood will do it for me. Well, it depends. Okay, technically, I want to say, what are we considering? I should have started off with that. What are we considering the best character to be? Are we considering the best character to be whoever hits the hardest in the game, no matter what other flaws they have, right? For example, Scarlet, she needs a healer because she's losing HP to get stronger, but she hits the hardest in the game, no question. Are we saying even though Scarlet has that flaw, is she the best character in the game because she hits the hardest? Are we saying someone like Modernia is the best character in the game because she's just all around great? Or are we going to start saying Red Hood? Well, I guess Red Hood is like a better Modernia, right? So are we going to say Red Hood is the best character in the game because she's used everywhere and she puts out great damage and she can fill in the spots that are... we already know the answer to that silly question, bro, but let me know if you have an answer to that yourself, right? Yeah. If Red Hood passives are good as her burst 1, I could easily see her being the best. Just her burst alone puts her in the top tier in my opinion. Hey, I'm not the only one that agrees with that. It's as simple as that. I can't be. I'm placing my bets on Red Hood. They gave her Pierce a high charge percent and the ability to burst in all 3 spots during the JP spree. The guy showed her critting for 1.3 million. That's insane. Actually, yeah, if you guys go back to the gameplay, when they used her first burst skill and then used her burst 3 after, like when they landed the Pierce effect and it hit twice, it hit for like 8.2 million. You guys have to realize the damage you guys are seeing in that gameplay showcase is also only being like supported by her. Does that make sense? Like the support from those numbers were only coming from her. Keep in mind, look at the schoolgirls. Tia forces you to go back in a burst 1 so you can go back into the burst 1 if you need to. Tia gives you a massive attack buff and core damage buff. If I have to use Red Hood's burst 1 with Tia's, with Naga's, and then her burst 3 for just think beyond the gameplay. Think about teams in this game, think beyond the gameplay. You guys understand how crazy it's actually going to get when she does drop. Trust me. Right? Even if she doesn't hit harder than Scarlet, she still will be better than Scarlet overall. There's no question. Right? But yeah. Able to burst anywhere, she can fit in any team. Damage I suspect will be good as she is a big lore character. Damage look good without like only her support. That's what I'm saying, right? And everybody wants to run the schoolgirls, everybody wants to run bunny girls, right? I'm just saying, bro, this is a team-based sport. This is a team-based game, right? So if you actually gave her a team that actually is buffing her as well, because the showcase they had, it wasn't buffing her at all, but you know what I mean. Hey. She's the best character in the game anyway. She goes 1, 2, and 3 bursts and was already doing more damage than Scarlet in the short little gameplay at level 200. Hey, right? She's really good. Pierce the entire game is really something as well, right? Sticking with Scarlet, my favorite character, not to run in a Zxous. What? Not to run in Zxous, but I did pull her 2 days. My first pilgrim ever, right? I guess, but like, I was kind of hoping we didn't get comments like this where people would say Scarlet's the best character in the game because she's my favorite character, right? I really want you guys, when it comes to these, I want you guys to be as unbiased as possible, right? I know a lot of you guys are going to be like, oh, Zxous just doesn't want Scarlet to be the best because he doesn't own her. No, chat. I don't care about Scarlet. F her. I don't care about Scarlet one bit. I'm telling you the truth. I know I'm smiling, but I'm telling you the truth. I don't care about Scarlet. Like, I don't cater. Like, I don't hold a grudge against her. She doesn't want to pull up on the account. She don't got to pull up on the account. F her. I hope she gets struck by lightning. We'll see. But yeah. The ability to become any burst by itself is the most useful thing about Red Hood. Yep. I don't forget that Query and Summer Neon exists. Devs can mess up by a mile trying Red Hood to do so much things at the same time. The thing is, I would have believed that if they showed the skills and no gameplay, right? This statement would have more like of an effect on me right now if they only showed us what Red Hood did without gameplay. We've seen what Red Hood did with gameplay and don't know her skills. And from the gameplay, there's no neon activity. There's no Kyrie. There's none of that. There's none of that. We've seen her double her damage. We see her with the Pierce effect. We see her casually hitting 1.7, 2.8 million. We see her hitting these numbers in these showcases, right? Hey, with no support, by the way, besides herself. That's what I'm saying. Hey, so, hey, I'm telling you. Flexible burst is an OP no matter her damage output. Thank you. Right, but again, it really just depends on what you consider the best unit. The hardest hitting character in the game, or a character who's actually like doing insane damage, right? Flexible on every team, could cater to everybody in the game, right? For example, let's say a character is dying and she does have taunt. I use her burst too. Now, boom, she's a tanker now. She's a tank taunter. She's healing and she's taunting. Like, she could protect other allies as well if you need it, realistically, but we'll see. Red Hood can be a whole team by herself. You can do one rotation with a few units, and then the next rotation you can just be her. What they showed from her damage was pretty goated, and her theme is epic too. Gonna be getting as many copies of her as I can. Yeah, this will be my first core 7 if I can get her core 7. I'm not gonna say I'm going broke until I get her core 7, but it is like that, to be honest. I do want core 7. I still expect that if you don't have any of these 3, Modernia will make the game the easiest when you do pull her. Red Hood would probably be second, and Scarlet's good, but not on the other two's level. Now, that's a good, let me talk about that. That's a good point right there, right? If you don't have any of the 3, who's the best out of the 3 overall, right? Like, for your account, even as a newer player. I think as a newer player, it would still be Red Hood because, again, Red Hood is a character who's going to do insane damage regardless, right? You can pull her today and she'll probably carry you through not all the story. I mean, she will carry you through all the story, but like, right, if let's say my team power is like 10k and the enemy power is 100k, Red Hood is godly, but she's not going to be able to, you know, carry me to that high. I don't think so, at least. So there's that. But I think if you don't have any of these, right, the best character on your account would technically be Red Hood because you have those different options, right? As a new player, you don't have as many characters as you would like. So being Red Hood being able to have all those different types of effects that can help you build your team properly is really good, right? I would say it's arguable between her and Modernia, but I do think it's Red Hood because of just that, and then Modernia, then Scarlet, right? Scarlet, again, hits very hard, but you still do need a healer for her because in content, she will die if you don't have a healer. If you're letting your Scarlet lose all her HP and no heals, somebody's gonna kill her. Somebody is gonna kill her, trust me. Hence why a lot of people always run Scarlet with a healer, right? Whether it's the bunny girls, probably the school girls, Rapunzel, whoever it is, May, Berry Goddess, Mary, it really depends, right? But yeah, if you want me overall, I think Red Hood, Modernia, then Scarlet. That's what it is overall, right? In terms of damage, it's probably going to be Scarlet, Modernia, then Red Hood. I mean, we'll see for Red Hood. Her damage was actually insane. Her damage was really scary. But we'll see. 3 bursts, and she has her own theme. Okay. I don't know why Scarlet is there, to be honest. If we're talking about the best DPS low, RH probably, Red Hood probably would claim the top spot just from her numbers shown in the live stream alone. She's stronger than Alice for sure. So numbers 1 would be Red Hood, 2 and 3 would be Alice and Modernia. Really? Okay, but here's my thing, right? For example, people say Alice hits harder than Scarlet, right? In my case, me personally, I consider Scarlet better than Alice because she doesn't need, right? Alice needs to be fully invested in order for her to surpass Scarlet. Does that make sense? Where Scarlet is just doing insane numbers from non-investments to full investments regardless, right? So I don't know. I feel like if you need to have all that extra stuff for the character to finally do something, it kind of holds them back in a sense of, I mean, I know it sounds weird because you're technically, like, you're going to build up any character regardless, but you know what I mean? Like, Scarlet doesn't need the investments to be a godly unit, right? Alice does. It's as simple as that, really, I think. Hopefully you guys understood what I mean there. Please let me know. Just the option of multiple bursts of melee makes Red Hood more valuable. There could still be a chance that Scarlet deals more raw damage, but she doesn't have the utility of Red Hood. So I'm okay. I thought this community was delusional. I thought the community was delusional, but it seems like we're all on the same page, right? Rather than, oh, whoever hits the most unga boonga damage, they're the best. It seems like you guys actually are actually considering the fact that she's a burst of 1, 2, and 3, versatile and stuff like that. I swear, like maybe 2 months ago, I was not getting this from my community specifically. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, bro. So that's a W right there, right? But I think, of course, as you guys see here, most people are in agreement. There's so much more to go over, but I don't want to. Oh, no, not that much actually. Red Hood because she's Red Hood. Booba, Red Hopium, Red Hood because she's hot. I need a burst 2 Pilgrim. Someone said Nihilister, but don't forget, if Nihilister dies, Red Hood could fill that spot up. I'm just saying. I mean, like, heart all these right here. I did not vote because 3 of them are a grape, so that means he didn't want to vote to Red Hood. I mean, like, it's kind of like, have you guys know when you ask questions like, what's the ranking of the big 3? You're always going to hear either Naruto, One Piece, or One Piece, Naruto, and then Bleach, right? Because as you guys know, Bleach does get heavily disrespected in the big 3. It didn't even make the article, or not the article, the cover of Jump Force. And the Jump Force was, I guess technically Goku's not, he's not a big 3, but he's like the father of it. But it would have made sense to put Ichigo in there rather than, like, it was Naruto, Luffy, and then Goku, right? It was just weird, right? Because they kind of treat Ichigo like he's a side character. They treat Bleach like it's a side show. Like, Bleach is up there. I don't know why people keep acting like Bleach is a side show, right? But there's that. That was just fully off topic. I'm sorry, right? She's new. That's it, right? Obviously, Red Hood. Are you kidding me? Is that even a question? Hey, Power Cube is here. Yeah, Red Hood's most versatile. Nikke, don't get hyped yet or I'll destroy your expectations. Again, I would have said that or I would have believed that if they didn't show gameplay. You guys realize we seen Max Limit Broken level 200 gameplay. We don't even know if she had gear or not, and she was performing fantastically. That's what I'm saying. We don't really need our hopes to get, like, we can get hype because we've seen it. We've seen gameplay of her, right? We've seen gameplay of her. We don't need to, right, hold our expectations back or anything like that. We can be hyped because we've seen gameplay, right? Yeah, everything, like, everybody's right, bro. Yo, y'all let me know what you think. We're Red Hood on top. Scarlet officially out. Modernia, as much as I love you, Shorty, you out too. Red Hood is, bro, chat, Red Hood might take, you see how on my channel, chat? On my channel, it's a Laplace banner and Laplace profile picture. That might change to Red Hood depending on how lucky I get because I'm loving this character. I generally did not think Red Hood would be in my top 5, but that girl right in there, she might down near be 1. OST, perfect. Everything perfect with this character. Maybe y'all say I'm glazing. Maybe y'all are saying I'm glazing. Maybe I'm riding like crazy. Pause. But Red Hood, I'm not playing. Let me know what you think. It's your boy Zxous. Subscribe and thank you guys all for the support. This was a longer one. Hope you guys enjoy these community reactions. We'll have more of these, especially when we'll do another one after like the event and stuff like that. Maybe like 2 weeks after. Also, after a week actually, I forgot to mention this. Let me go back. A week after Red Hood drops, we are actually going to have a live stream. Where did I put this? Here, right? A week after, we're going to have a live stream for making the new top 10 units in Nikke. So I will set that up. We're going to do that as a community. We did this for the half anniversary and everybody loved it so far. And they've been waiting for me to do this again for the the anniversary. So a week after the anniversary banner, we are going to go live and make the updated top 10 units of Nikke as a community. So I definitely wanted you guys to know that. But for now, it's your boy Zxous, and I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm out later. Peace.